Hello everyone, I am Sanjeev Kumar at Plutus IAS. Now I bring important bills recently passed in the parliament. These bills required especially in GS paper 2. Otherwise, it can also support in multiple topics, maybe in GS paper 1 or maybe in GS paper 3, yeah, current affair related questions. You can target directly by going through these bills. These bills are very important. They are quite and debate discussions throughout India. ठीक है, तो इसमें मैं कुछ चर्चा करूंगा अबाउट इम्पोर्टेंट बिल्स मीन्स कौन कौन से ऐसे बिल्स हैं जो अभी पार्लियामेंट में आए. I cannot discuss all these bills within this short recorded video, but still I will bring a few very important bills that will assist you not only in prelims but also in mains, interview or at different stages. Okay, so without wasting time, I am going to Women's Reservation Bill. Women's Reservation Bill. 2023. This was 106 Constitutional Amendment Act. So, Nari Shakti Vandan Abhiyan. This bill have objective for reservation of 33% seats for the women. What is objective is reservation, reserve 33% seats. एक तिहाई सीट को हमको रिजर्व करना है एंड लोकसभा प्लस लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबलीज ऑफ द स्टेट. For very long time period, we are discussing over better representation of women. Women की हम ज़्यादा representation चाहते हैं because they are in significant amount within our society. So we also want representation, their representation politically at Lok Sabha level, at legislative assembly, या at local representation level. तो local means within panchayat municipalities we have already ensured the reservation. आपने देखा होगा कि पंचायत में सरपंच या फिर for post of mayor or at different places within municipalities you have noticed that there is already reservation. कई बार men used to work over the ground in the name of women. ठीक है, तो men work करते हैं. आपने देखा है कि महिला सरपंच likely to be represented by male over the ground. So sometimes this is not real benefiting women empowerment, yet it is significant and it has brought several change. If we do not provide them reservation, probably there should not be good representation या women empowerment politically. So how long we are trying to provide this reservation? हम कब से provide कर रहे हैं या tried कर रहे हैं for providing this reservation? We are starting, we have started since 1996. लगभग 1996 से हमने start की अपनी journey, and at multiple times after that, 1998, 99, 2003, 2008, and finally we have reached 2023 where we ensure that 1/3 reservation for the women and Lok Sabha and Legislative Assembly. But still its implementation awaits. Its implementation awaits. Means it is awaiting for what? Next census plus delimitation. Census used to occur after each and every 10 years, 2011, 2021, 31. Okay, so 21 was a COVID year. That's why full-fledged the census was not conducted, not possible at that time period. Now likely to be conducted in 2031. Further, delimitation exercise is already finished by 84th or 87th Amendment Act. So now in 2026 onwards, delimitation likely to be occur. If you are very new student, what does mean by delimitation? So delimitation means with respect to fixing the constituency seats in Lok Sabha or the legislative assemblies. Means किस स्टेट का कितना लोकसभा सीट होगा या स्टेट असेंबली का सीट होगा, दैट इज डिटरमाइंड बाय डिलिमिटेशन कमीशन. जैसे दिल्ली का अगर हम एमपी वाला सीट्स देखें तो 7 मींस लोकसभा में दिल्ली का 7 सीट्स है. इफ वी टॉक अबाउट दिस स्टेट असेंबली, सो इट्स टोटल सीट आर 70. ठीक है, तो उसमें 70 है. वैसे ही सपोज दैट यूपी, सो यूपी का लोकसभा में सीट है 80 और इन स्टेट इट इज 400 प्लस सीट्स. ओके, सो this is how delimitation used to fix the seats. Now, delimitation is already freezed for 2026. So, next time, this delimitation commission likely to increase Lok Sabha or state assembly seats. तो Lok Sabha और state assembly seats increase हो सकती है next time. Okay, और होंगी increase. And southern states are also worried about that since seats are determined so far. One of the basic criteria is pro rata basis, means population based. The states which have more population like UP, Bihar, etc. likely to have more representation in Lok Sabha. The states which have low population like Arunachal Pradesh, maybe Rajasthan, yeah, maybe some other states likely to have comparatively less representation in Lok Sabha. So here, after next census and delimitation, this exercise likely to be covered. Further, within this, there should be proportional representation. Proportional representation of women belongs to SC and ST class, या category. Means you can consider कि reservation within reservation. Already 33% are reserved for the women, but among the women, how much is the proportion of SC or ST women? Then their seat further will be reserved. So suppose that if you are a good candidate for fighting the elections for Lok Sabha or the state legislative assembly and you are a tribal woman, then there is sore shot or there are very high chance, bright chance that you likely to be इलेक्टेड फॉर दिस पोजीशन. ठीक है, तो अगर आप ST या SC वुमेन हो, देन देर आर वेरी फेयर चांसेस आफ्टर implementation of this women reservation. Now, why we brought this reservation? Because of better representation of women. What we likely to be achieved from better representation? Then women rights can be secured in better way, women welfare, yeah, dignity in the society, equality in the society. So various social issues that now existed likely to be strengthened, means likely to be improved. कंडीशन थोड़ा बेहतर हो सकती है सोसाइटी में वुमेन का ओवरऑल रोल प्ले करने में. ओके, नाउ स्टडीज shows that some of the studies also shows that female have invested wherever female are elected, they have invested significant amount in health, education, water and sanitation. Health, education, water and sanitation. So it will also likely to be empowered. Now, women representation is not a gift, rather it is a right. अगर आपको लग रहा है कि ये हम गिफ्ट दे रहे हैं लोग वुमेन को, so it is not a gift, rather it is their right. Rights of women to have equal representation. If they belongs to significant amount या significant proportion part of society, then there should be near about equal representation as per their proportion. And that is necessary for strengthening our society to reduce certain crime against women and to make or facilitate women at equal par with men. So that's all about this women reservation bill. Now I am moving to next one, Work Amendment Act 2025. I hope you are well aware about this, and this is one of the heated, debated, and there are several protests over it. So, Work Amendment Act 2025. Work Amendment Act 2025. What's its objective? Aim for transparency and inclusiveness. Yeah, inclusivity. I will discuss what kind of inclusiveness or inclusivity we are referring to here. So, inclusiveness here refers to inclusion of women. Women especially belongs to Muslim community. Yeah, inclusion of non-Muslim community into Waqf board. Now, I will gradually discuss about it. What does mean by Waqf? Waqf का मतलब क्या है? What this word Waqf is representing. So, Waqf refers to any gift or donation. Means what kind of gift or donation likely to be take place here? It may be money, it may be land, it may be property, etc. All can be part of Waqf. Waqf. So Waqf is a gift or donation generally given by Muslim community members primarily, so that there can be welfare for poor section of society. Now, how it is helping? This is helping poor, to help poor in establishment of a school, educational schools, maybe hospitals, madrasas, mosque. All this property, money, land, etc. received as a waqf should be used only for purpose of welfare of Muslim community, especially the poor section of society. Like opening of more schools, ज़्यादा स्कूल ओपन करें या हॉस्पिटल्स ओपन करें या मॉस्क ओपन करें, और फॉर एनी अदर वेलफेयर एक्टिविटीज, मे बी स्किल डेवलपमेंट और मे बी वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट और maybe certain extra benefits for weaker, deprived section of society. That is waqf. Now, waqf once granted, once given, cannot be taken back, कैन नॉट बी रिवर्स. एक बार अगर आपने प्रॉपर्टी दे दी, जैसे आपने कुछ सीरियल्स में देखा होगा, मूवीज में देखा होगा, वंस प्रॉपर्टी इज ग्रांटेड इट कांट बी रिटर्न. वंस सिग्नेचर इज डन देन इट कांट बी रिवर्ट बैक. जस्ट लाइक आश्रम सीरियल्स में या वेब सीरीज में यू हैव नोटिस्ड, वंस प्रॉपर्टी इज ग्रांटेड इट कांट बी रिटर्न. तो वो बाबा जी की सारी जमीन हो जाती है. सो लाइक दैट, वंस टू वक्फ बोर्ड, इफ प्रॉपर्टी, मनी और एनी बिल्डिंग एटसेट्रा is granted, it is part of it. Suppose that one person granted land to build the school, then a school must be built. That property must be used for school purpose, only for school. It should not be used for any private profit. It should not be used or misused for any other purpose. Only a school need to be constructed, and that is the responsibility of Waqf board. Now, This Waqf property generally governed by this Waqf property is governed by वक्फ बोर्ड. एक वक्फ बोर्ड है that used to govern this waqf property. Now, what is this waqf board? This waqf board may be central waqf board and state waqf board. In different states, there are different waqf board. Just like these waqf board can be Shia or Sunni waqf board separately. Just like UP Sunni Central Waqf Board, West Bengal Waqf Board. So such kind of waqf board, generally there are total 30 plus waqf board are existed throughout different states. There is a central waqf board. This central waqf board, generally its headquarter is located in New Delhi. It comes under Ministry of Minority Affairs. Ministry of Minority Affairs. It may comprise of 6 to 15 members. Means waqf board may comprise of near about 6 to 15 members. Generally, it used to advise government, central government and state waqf board. Now, what these state waqf board used to do? These state waqf board generally, they receive donations, manage property, money or whatever different assets, ensure there should be proper use. Yeah, they prevent misuse of property, donation, gift, whatever is given. So they generally work in such a manner. Now, who used to appoint them? The central waqf board appointed by central government. And this state waqf board generally appointed by state government. Now you may raise question here. आप कह सकते हो कि अगर सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट अपॉइंट कर रही है तो what kind of problem likely to arise? Why problem existed here? या state government appoint कर रही है. But what is the law with respect to appointment? Appointment कैसे हो रहा है? We will discuss about the previous as well as new law. There are, the provisions of old laws and new law. Old law and new law. So here, concern with respect to new law, there should be one Muslim woman. Here at present, it is mandatory that there should be 2 Muslim women being the board member. Earlier, generally there was, that was not a mandatory provision. Rather, there should be Muslim. ठीक है, यहाँ पर only Muslim था, and there should be, preference for the woman, preferably woman. So that is one major change here, that women earlier generally presented at the time of donation, gift, property, transaction, but later on there were no presentation of women. Women कहीं नहीं रहती थी. That is big change. Number second, here one or more elected mutwalis. One or more elected mutwalis. Now, what these mutwalis? What these mutwalis are? So, mutwalis generally are the caretaker. Means there are more auditors which can take care about these work, property, donation, gift, etc. Earlier, it was generally the provision directly involved with the work properties, means any person who directly granted the work property or given his land, given something donations, etc., he can be appointed as member who granted work property. He could have made as one of the member. Yeah, earlier there was provision with respect to only Muslim representation. Here non-Muslim expert if financial experts, a technical expert is required, then such person can be non-Muslim. Earlier here, financial and technical member was just optional, and preferably the Muslim one. And this also generally advocate that there can be one legal person here, there can be one legal expert here. Okay, this legal person can be anyone whose बैकग्राउंड इज एसोसिएटेड विद लॉ रिलेटेड मैटर्स. ठीक है, कोई भी लॉयर हो सकता है, जज हो सकता है, फॉर्मर जज हो सकता है, लाइक दैट. बट अर्लियर देयर वाज प्रोविजन विद रिस्पेक्ट टू एडवोकेट या जज. एडवोकेट और जज, प्रेफरेबली द मुस्लिम वन. यहां पर मुस्लिम वन. ओके, सो नाउ यू कैन से entirely it was earlier a Muslim dominant board. Now government has reduced it to more inclusive board rather than just a Muslim board, just the Muslim presentation. Okay, so this work board generally keep the record, manage the assets, collect the rent, lease, donations, use income for social, educational welfare, for religious purpose, for settling the disputes, okay, etc., etc., or it used to prevent illegal business, any kind of activities. So these changes government brought. Why government brought? There was amendment in 2013 during Congress government. So Congress government changed the provisions of this work act, then at that time period there was more lenient provisions for the Waqf board. Now Waqf board property rises a very aggressive way during last 100 year, in present just 1 decade. If we compare, then Waqf property increases is fastest paced than ever before. Waqf property multiplied, and there were problems with respect to transparency. There were problems that without concerning, some of the entire village were declared as the Waqf property. So there was significant misuse of it. After Indian Army or Railway, Waqf is the largest owner of property. Okay. So this is just brief about the Waqf Act. Now we are moving towards another important amendment related to Chief Election Commissioner and Election Commissioner. Chief Election Commissioner and Election Commissioners Act of 2023. So this Chief Election and Election Commissioner Act generally replaced 1991 Act related to Chief Election Commissioner and Election Commissioner. Now it is Act for appointment, condition of services and term of offices related to appointment, term of service condition, okay, a term or office of service condition. What should be the tenure? What should be the service condition? So here its objective is to regulate. Its objective is to regulate the appointment and service condition of Chief Election Commissioner and Election Commissioners. Now, if we look about the appointment, how appointment is made, appointment किस तरह किया जाता है with respect to Chief Election Commissioner and different Election Commissioner. तो उनका appointment कैसे किया जाता है? Generally, Chief Election Commissioner and Election Commissioners, they are appointed by President. They used to be appointed by President. This was previous provisions of 1991 Act on the advice of Cabinet. Cabinet advise करता है President को and President used to appoint Election Commissioners and Chief Election Commissioners. There is no such detailed provision. यहाँ पर कोई detailed provision नहीं है. There is no such eligibility criteria. Yeah, there is no such scrutiny, there is no such commission, committees which used to appoint Election Commissioner and Chief Election Commissioner. Now, why this matter was raised? This matter was raised by some of the opposition parties and different other organizations in India, primarily some non-government organizations in India, which held that for securing free and fair elections, we require independent appointment of Election Commissioner and Chief Election Commissioner. Otherwise, what will happen if government have full monopoly in appointment of Chief Election Commissioner and Election Commissioners? How transparency can be ensured? How free and fair elections is possible? तो free and fair election कैसे हो सकता है? ठीक है? So it was just based on convention. ये काफी लंबे समय तक convention पर चलता रहा. It is just convention. There is no such valid detailed law here. Now, when different organizations, opposition party reached to Supreme Court, जब Supreme Court 2023 March month, when they approaches to Supreme Court of India, then Supreme Court of India held that Chief Election Commissioner and Election Commissioners of India used to be appointed, they used to be appointed by a committee. Now this committee may comprise of Prime Minister of India plus CJI plus leader of opposition. It means here Supreme Court held that rather than convention, just like director of CBI, how director of CBI used to appoint it, in similar way chief election commissioner and different election commissioner also need to be appointed by a high power committee. High power committee consisting of prime minister, CGI and leader of opposition. Now political balance existed here, means एक प्राइम मिनिस्टर है जो रूलिंग पार्टी से है, जो टॉप लीडर है, और दूसरा लीडर ऑफ अपोजिशन है जो अपोजिशन का लीडर है प्राइमरीली इन लोकसभा. Further, CGI is just kind of neutral and credible person. So that's why it seems to be very excellent feature from Supreme Court of India perspective. Supreme Court of India held that just like appointment of director of CBI, similar kind of committee should be there. Now, what government did in 2023, later government did Chief Election Commissioner, Election Commissioner now used to be appointed by same committee, but in state of CGI, now government did that there should be a cabinet minister. एक कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर होना चाहिए यहां पर. So now politically, do you think that it is well balanced? क्या ये पूरी तरह से बैलेंस है? So it is not so. Politically, it is not a balance. There is more tilt towards government side because two persons are primarily from government side. So politically it is aligned and CGI has been removed. So there was major criticism based on it. Now if we talk about their tenure or term, so term tenure likely to be same 6 years or 65 years, whichever is earlier. ठीक है, if any person is appointed at age of 62 years, then he used to serve only for 3 years. If he is appointed at age of 55 years, he can serve up to age of 61 years, means for 6 years. Now, regarding salary, it was also term and condition with respect to salary. So earlier, the salary of chief election commissioner and election commissioner was equivalent. Okay, earlier they were equivalent to Supreme Court judge. Now they are equivalent to cabinet secretary. Rather, judge of Supreme Court. It means there is degradation about their salary conditions. So we can say that government of India has diluted the service condition as well as appointment of election commissioner and chief election commissioner. Now what are key challenges? What are key challenges here? Now key challenges related to federalism. With respect to securing the interest of different members or states, etc., it is one of the concern that the election commissioner should be very much independent. Criticism held that CGI is needed for fair appointment, for fairness. CGI need to be appointed. Government has weakened the system. Government has weakened the independence of चीफ इलेक्शन कमिश्नर्स एंड इलेक्शन कमिश्नर्स, इनका कहीं ना कहीं गवर्नमेंट ने एक इंडिपेंडेंस को डाइल्यूट कर दिया है. नाउ अपॉइंटमेंट इज मोर पॉलिटिकली अलाइंड. Politically aligned appointment, which means that there is more role of politics. It is election commissioner of India and chief election commissioners impartial appointment is necessary for free and fair elections. So these are some of the problems, challenges that we are noticing after appointment, service term and service conditions within chief election commissioner and election commissioner. Now moving to last one, one nation one election bill. One nation one election bill 2024. It is another important issue. ये एक और important issue है. Now its aim for proper simultaneous election. Proper simultaneous election for Lok Sabha plus Legislative Assembly of the state. Legislative Assembly और लोक सभा का एक proper एक synchronous way में election होना चाहिए. One schedule for election for entire India within 5 years. Its target aim is 2034. ठीक है, तो ये जनरली 2034 पर टारगेट कर रहा है बिकॉज वी नीड टू डू सेवरल चेंजमेंट या अमेंडमेंट. इट मीन्स यू कैन से वोट वंस एंड इलेक्ट ट्वाइस. Vote once and elect twice for both Lok Sabha and Legislative Assembly. Now, why government is bringing this? Government is bringing this one nation one election especially to save time, because very frequently in different regions of India, elections likely to be conducted after every month, after every few months. Within a year, there might be multiple elections in multiple states. Otherwise, there is no single year in which there is no election of any states inside India. So, save time. Now, save money. More frequent elections means more expenditure of money in hoarding, campaigning, and you already aware about कि किस तरह का फंड डाइवर्ट होता है या फंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूट होता है ड्यूरिंग इलेक्शंस टाइम पीरियड. समटाइम्स वोट फॉर नोट इज ऑल्सो क्वाइट कॉमन ड्यूरिंग इलेक्शन टाइम पीरियड. ठीक है, मतलब फॉर्मल वे में नहीं, इनफॉर्मली वोट फॉर नोट एटसेट्रा कैन बी पॉसिबल एंड फ्रीक्वेंट फाउंड. ओके, सो सेव टाइम, सेव मनी, save energy. Further, prevent political drama. So all these are issues या regions for that government is looking. What are the current problem in existing system? What are the current problems? अभी क्या कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स हैं जो एग्जिस्ट कर रही हैं. वेरी फ्रीक्वेंट इलेक्शन बहुत ज्यादा फ्रीक्वेंट हो रहा है. वेरी फ्रीक्वेंट इलेक्शन मीन्स ईच एंड एवरी टाइम आफ्टर एवरी फ्यू मंथ्स दे आर लाइकली टू बी इलेक्शन. नाउ फ्रीक्वेंट इलेक्शन ऑल्सो कॉज फ्रीक्वेंट कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट. Now, what kind of problem arises from code of conduct? Means whenever code of conduct is imposed, then government schemes likely to be freeze. Government scheme freeze हो जाती है. They no more functional. या there can't be a new scheme because of free and fair elections, because of all such productive environment is required just before the election. Further, massive expenditure, बहुत ज़्यादा खर्चा हो रहा है. That is problem for conducting the elections. Then, you know, always campaign mode. हमारे जो भी representative है, always likely to be on campaign mode. You have noticed very recently there was very sensitive meeting of government all party meeting, especially based on terror attack, based on Operation Sindoor, etc. But Prime Minister Modi was missing, and at that time period, on that day, he was campaigning in Bihar for the election purpose. Because for a political party, one of the most essential thing is election. To win the election, then political party can do something. Otherwise, a political party is not in power, it can't do anything like that. Okay, so what are key features of one nation, one election? I'm just quickly summarizing key features. Key features of one nation, one election means one schedule, one elections for both लोक सभा एंड लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली. एक शेड्यूल होगा प्रॉपरली. Then there likely to be one voter list, so it will also generally reduce fake voter IDs. Yeah, it will control the fake voter IDs. So one voter list. There are several amendments required. Sometimes such question arised already asked within prelims examination, which of the following articles likely to be amended by one nation, one election? So Article 83, Article 85, 172, 174, 356 and Representation of People Act 1951. So all these are required for that purpose. Now, what are the major problems here, issues, key challenges with respect to one nation, one elections? So challenges likely to be federalism. One of the major challenge means it can be objections from several states. Fall of government. What happens if there is fall of government, just like Manipur, where president rule imposed? Should we require to increase it for more than 3 years? Logistics problem means millions new voter, especially the EVM machine is required. More initial investment is required because of huge infrastructure is required at the beginning. Further, multiple amendments means several amendment is required. Target is 2034. What are the benefit? We can save money in long term. We can save time. We can focus over governance. We can provide qualitative governance, and we can also provide clarity for the voters. So that's all in today's discussion. Thank you very much.